your goal becomes getting from point A to point B, not necessarily working specific muscle groups, not necessarily getting blood flow and volume into the muscle, which is when the muscle growth happens. Hey, what's up, man? Gary Walker here, and welcome back for another video. All right, in this video, I'm gonna tell you how I build muscle with light weights, all right? Light weights, smaller weights. Here's what I want you to understand. I've been training for over 35 years. So I've been doing this a long time. So yes, when I first started out, I went as heavy as possible. I did my compound movements, heavy bench press, heavy dips, heavy back squats, heavy back rows, did it all, tried it all. I did that for a lot of years. One thing I realized over the years, not only training myself that way, but I got into training at an early age, training and coaching other men, other women, and using that same philosophy with all of them. The one thing that happens when you do that constantly, consistently for a long period of time is low back issues, knee issues, elbow issues, shoulder issues. So you get a lot of the wear and tear on those joints, but you don't always get the muscle growth. You don't get those benefits. Yeah, the strength happens, but with strength doesn't always come mass. That's one thing you really need to focus on. Took me a while to realize that, and what I realized over that time is it's not about lifting the heavy weight, because what happens when you lift heavy weights all the time is not only do you have that wear and tear, but your goal becomes getting from point A to point B, not necessarily working specific muscle groups, not necessarily getting blood flow and volume into the muscle, which is when the muscle growth happens. All right, so at the end of the day, the one thing you really want to focus on with your weight training is you want to make sure the muscle you're working is what's actually working within the movements that you're doing. All right, so that's going to be key. A lot of that is mind-muscle connection. So you want to really be focused on the muscle you're trying to work. Also, a little more blood flow, a little more pumping into the muscles. That's going to help stretch the muscle, grow the muscle as well, more so than just lifting heavy weights. All right, with that said, heavy is relative for everybody. I'm not saying pick up some 20-pound dumbbells and start repping those out for bench presses. That's not what I'm saying. But yes, I've worked out with the 6 to 8 rep range at 315 pounds on the bench press. I've used 225 on the back rows. I used to squat 495, so I did the heavy lifting. And not only did that hurt my joints by doing that, but I never really got bigger. I plateaued at a smaller weight than I wanted to. I thought I had to get stronger and stronger, and I was gonna grow more and more. That didn't happen. It wasn't until some of these injuries forced me to back off of the heavy lifting. All right, so this is where I'm talking about not necessarily having to do 315 on the bench, but 225 on the bench, and focus more on pushing that weight with my chest, really stretching the pecs at the bottom, hold that bottom position, and then forcefully contract concentrically to the top of the range to really focus on making sure my pecs were doing all the movement. And then 8 to 12 rep range. 8 to 12 reps, get that burn, get that blood flow, get that lactic acid. That's what started growing my pecs. Same for my legs. 495, I didn't have massive legs. I had good sized legs for my body, but they weren't overly impressive for someone that could squat close to 500 pounds. It wasn't until I lowered the weight. All right, so I'm talking about I got down to 315, really focus, lower the weight under control, 4 seconds, eccentrically, hold that bottom position, and then explode the weight back up to the top. And that's when my legs really started to grow. I went as high as 20 reps for squats. Same with leg presses, really focused on not necessarily loading up the platform, but maximizing the time under tension. 20 to 30 reps on leg presses. That's when my legs started to grow, all right? So same with biceps, same with shoulders. It's not just about lifting as much as you can. That's the point I want you to take away from this video. At the end of the day, focus on that mind-muscle connection. Lower the weight with all of your lifts until you can really maximally and optimally have a strong mind-muscle connection with every single muscle group, with your lats, with your quads, with your hamstrings, with your delts, with your pecs, everything that you are working. I want you to really control the movement, control the weight with the intended muscle that you're supposed to be using with each lift. Do that, you're gonna get a lot better results. So with that said, you wanna lift heavy within that rep range, within the 8 to 12 rep range, even up to 20 reps when it comes to your legs. Doing that is going to lead to more muscle growth. Then you can still do some of the heavier stuff in the 3 to 6 rep range. I like doing that as well, but don't think of that as hypertrophy movements, hypertrophy work. A little bit of strength work that's gonna help that neuromuscular system, that's really gonna activate deep muscle fibers, but don't stay in that rep range for too long because that will absolutely destroy your joints. Take it from someone that has had those joint issues personally, but also someone that's witnessed it with hundreds of people that I've worked with. I see them coming to me with the powerlifting backgrounds, strength training backgrounds, football training backgrounds, and they're pretty much beat up. Joints are shot. So I want you to avoid that at all costs. All right, hopefully this will help you out. Feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this. Also, if you have any questions about anything at all, leave it in the comment section. If you want help with your training, I do a lot of one-on-one coaching, so leave that question in the comment section as well. Other than that, man, get busy, get after it, and God bless.